Hey, what is good? What is good? What is good, beautiful people? Of course, you know who I is, the good doc, Dr. Mike, back again, once again, with a more intriguing story that I want to share with you guys today. Like I said, sincerely hope everybody is blessed. Sincerely hope everybody's having a great day. The good doc's having an awesome one. Um, make sure you subscribe, notify, masterclass, everything you'll need is linked in the description there below. Do not wish to be before you long, but I wanted to share this particular story that I was sent to me by my father about this lady who was charged with carrying a newborn in her luggage at the Philippine airport. This is something else for me. I found this one to be a struggle. I was a little bit sickened by it because you can only imagine. You can only imagine. And I guess when you're female, you kind of feel like you may not be questioned more than once about it. But I guess there's only one way to do this one. We're going to rip it off like a Band-Aid, and we're definitely going to get into it. All right. So I'm going to leave the link to the article so that you guys can read it if you want to. I'm going to try not to read all of it because I feel like that'll be a bore. But basically, the headline reads, Ohio woman charged after carrying a newborn in a luggage at the Philippines airport as new details emerge. Her name was Jennifer Talbot, age 43. She was from Ohio. It says an American woman tried to fly out of the Philippines with a 6-day-old baby hidden in her carry-on bag and was interrupted just before boarding a plane and has been charged with human trafficking. So basically, she made it through all of the proper checkpoints. Let's talk about that for a second. She made it through all of the proper checkpoints. Only when she was about to board did they finally get her. Wow. That's scary. But okay. It says that the new details of how the 43-year-old woman from Ohio passed through Manila Airport's immigration counter without declaring the Filipino baby boy and made it all the way to the boarding gate emerged as official presented Talbot to reporters. Talbot appeared in handcuffs, orange detainee shirt. She refused to give any comments on why she tried to smuggle a baby out of the country. She says there was really an intention to hide the baby. That's what the immigration office said. There was really an intent to hide the child. I guess they had to dig through some things to actually get to the child. And once you guys read the story in its entirety, because I don't feel like doing that, you guys will be able to get the general information. But this is different, man. And like I said, I don't think that, when you see a guy doing it, you kind of expect it to be a bad thing. And I guess when it comes to women smuggling children, yeah, it's still bad nonetheless, but I guess they don't believe that women will be likely questioned when they have babies, because you expect women to have children, right? Or to have them walking. But she literally tried to hide this child in a bag and smuggle him through the Philippine airport to get that child back to the United States, okay? So it says airline staff discovered the baby when they went through the woman's oversized carry-on luggage. Immigration personnel arrested Talbot at the airport, and they said she was unable to produce any passport, boarding pass, or government permits for the infant. So basically, when the bag was oversized, I think that's when they decided to check it. Because, normally you're only allowed to have a bag of a certain stature on most of these flights, so they don't just let you bring any type of bag on the airplane. And I guess that was only when they decided to question it. That's what happened. It says the investigation said Talbot presented an affidavit at the airport that alleged from the baby's mother giving consent for the baby to travel to the U.S., but it had not been signed by the mother. They also went to where the woman was from, which was in southern Davao City, my city, southern part of Davao City. And it said investigators will try to determine how Talbot brought the baby out of Davao because she was required to get a city clearance for infants to be transported by foreigners. Let's focus on that for a second. Just because you're of any type of ethnic background, you cannot be walking around with Filipino babies all willy-nilly, okay? You got to have a permit from that, and I understand why. Same reason like this. Human trafficking is a real deal, okay? It's nothing to play with. She claimed to be the child's aunt, but without proper documentation, there was no way in this world she should have ever gotten that child out of Davao City, especially on a flight. I don't even think she can get on a boat and do that. Like I said, maybe it's a hard thing to tell. There is some oversight when it comes to Philippine regulations and, how they conduct searches and stuff like that. There are oversights from, I can't lie. I'm not going to say they need to tighten it up a little bit, but I'm going to be honest with you. I'll give you a quick example because I can. When you go to the mall and stuff like that, they don't really check you like that. They really don't check baggage and stuff like that. And yes, the mall is just an example that I'm giving here. But let's be honest, in some situations and in some places, they don't really go through your bags like that. But, you know, considering that this is like her going on the airport and stuff, that she had to put the baby on a conveyor belt, you know, that belt where you got to have, you know, get your bag scanned and all that stuff, you know, go through security checks and stuff like that. How she got the baby through all of that and nobody said anything, that is beyond me. So basically they reached out to the baby mother and the mother told the officers that she wanted to offer her baby up for adoption and there was no indication that she had sold the baby. Okay. So that was what the story basically encompasses. Maybe you guys can interpret this one a little bit different than me. I'll leave the link in the description or maybe pinned as the first comment so that you guys can check it out. But again, a woman tried to smuggle a Filipino baby boy out of the country. No paperwork, no documents. I know adoption can be expensive, especially adoption, trying to bring a child back to the United States, but you got to go through the proper channels. I'm not going to sit here and say that there was malicious intent with what she was doing. I don't know. They're charging her for human trafficking, so they basically gave her the worst or assumed the worst with what she did. But in hindsight, I don't think that it was malicious in any way. I personally don't think, but again, I don't know. Sometimes people do. I mean, when you don't have money for adoption and you feel like it's cheaper to just do it this way or that way, the cheaper way, you know, you have people who are willing to go through the means of, you know, hiding children and doing all of this stuff, that and the other to basically, you know, get them out of the country without having to go through the proper channels, right? But then again, let's not sugarcoat this shit. How does a Filipino mother, no disrespect, give up their child, I was about to say their children, but give up their child and not receive something, a monetary means for it? Okay, I'm just gonna throw that out there, okay? Because Doc is all about his skepticism of all types of situation. I don't believe it was malicious, but I do believe that that mother probably did receive something. I'm not gonna say she sold her child, but she received something for that child, especially if it was known to her. It was known to the mother that she gave that child up. You understand? She wanted to give the child up for adoption. She said it, at least in this particular interview or this article that I'm reading. She said, I wanted to give the child up for adoption, but there was no paperwork on the adoption. You understand? Think about that for a second. She never declined or never denied that that woman didn't have a right to have her child. So in my thought process, I'm thinking she received something for it. Okay, I'm just gonna throw that out there because I just can't see a mother of any race. I don't care where you're from. I don't care what your dire strengths are or whatever it may be. You understand? I know Philippines has got its issues. Every place has its own issues, you know, and this may not be a place where money is in abundance, but let's keep it 100% and let's keep it real. No mother is gonna give up their child without something in return. I don't care. You understand? So telling me you just want your child to have a better life, I get it. But what does that mean for you? You understand? You just say, okay, here's my child, and that's it. I don't know, man. I'm skeptical of that shit. But, you know, I understand that there was a potential for that child to have a better life if they were going to take care of that child, as aforementioned. You understand? And like I said, things can go way south way quick. Okay, so let's not overlook what it could have possibly been. You know, let's not overlook the negative downside of that whole entire situation, okay? But I found it to be interesting. My father sent me this article, and I thought it was something that it would be interesting to share with you guys. I am not your 411. I am not the information guy. I'm not the guy that you're going to go to get your news, because Doc don't report news. Only when it's interesting or intriguing to me do you guys get this type of information. I felt this was one worth and worthy of sharing, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that. This is fairly new. As far as the article is concerned, I don't think this is even 24 hours old yet. I'm not sure. But like I said, links in the description. Link is here in the description area so that you guys can definitely check it out. All right. So with that being said, Good Doc is officially out. At least, Nako. Let me know what you think in the comment section. All right. Peace.